What's up, everybody? Welcome to Metal Effort. My name's Nehemiah, and today we're not going to be talking about metal that much. This is my first video where I don't have anything metal in it. That's kind of not true because I do have some strop sprays that have diamonds in it, and we're just going to call that metal for GT's sake. So I want to do a video on my strops, the setup I have, what I use, and kind of what my recommendations would be to you. Now, I've gone through a few different strops setups. I really wanted to hone in and make sure I got something. Oh, that's upside down. That's not going to help you. The Beaver Craft. I got this on the sharpeningsupplies.com. They are not affiliated with me. I just bought this stuff off their website and have been using it. And I've got some things to tell you. This was like my first mistake. I bought this giant strop. The strop itself is fine. It's $40 and it gets the job done. But I was using like the super basic. I probably shouldn't touch that on there. I was using the super basic, just kind of chalky compound that you rub on there. And they're saying the green is fine and the white is coarse, and usually that's the other way around, but I triple checked and I put it on there, and as far as I can tell, that's how it works. I still use this one. This is giant. This is a 12-inch strop. This I'll use for like big beefy, camping knives or chef knives or something. It's a little bit easier to handle because it has a handle. So for most of my stropping needs, I do this kind of three-pronged approach. It's actually a four-pronged approach, which is cool. So before I get into the strops, I do want to talk about the compounds I use. So I don't have a ton of experience beyond the green and white compound, just the generic stuff that came with the strop that I've used before. And then all this stuff is DMT. I've heard there's other things that are similar to these that you can use. I don't know if there's a big enough difference, and I'll definitely need to get my hands on different kinds. Really, I just need to get my feet under me as far as knowing exactly what to expect from the ones that I have here. So I'll tell you a little bit about that. So first up is the pace. I have a 6 micron, a 3 micron, and a 1. These are in reverse order, and a 1 micron. So these are diamond compounds. The reason I went with diamond over just like the normal compounds on the other one is I'm using exotic steels. I have rather, M390, 20CV, 204P. I've got M4 and got the new, where is it? Don't see it. Oh, here it is. The 4V. These are more of a tool steel. These you could probably get by without the diamond ones, and it would be perfectly fine, honestly. But the higher end, the really high carbide ones like the M390 and the others, once I get into, I'll eventually get like a 110V or 90V knives, which are very, very stubborn, hard to sharpen, high edge retention type steels. M390 is just a shade under those as far as like difficulty in sharpening. These are a lot easier to sharpen, but the diamond doesn't hurt at all. It's just a little bit more aggressive to make sure that you're actually affecting the edge in some way. I also have the diamond plates for the same reason. So the way that I ended up going with this, because this is a 3-pack, by the way. You can buy them individually for $14, which is, don't do that. If you get all 3, it's only $30, which is a lot more reasonable. And I like having 3. You probably don't need it, quote unquote, but I'm a knife nerd and I'm just nerding out. So if that's your kind of thing, you might want to do a similar thing. Now, I wanted to have separate strops. Obviously, you don't want to mix your compounds on the strop. It dilutes it and it just ruins the whole purpose of having different compounds. So you want to have different strops for each paste that you're going to use. And so what I did over at sharpeningsupplies.com, they have a multitude of different options. They have an 8x3. This is an 8x2, which I just prefer for all my pocket knives. And so I wanted to have a range going from 6, 3, 1, and then 0.5 micron. There are ones that go less than that. I don't see the need to do that. I don't think I'm good enough at sharpening before I even get to the strops for that to matter yet. Maybe once I rein in my abilities on the stones, I might level up my game a little bit by going to the next one. Probably use, if I do a 0.1, I'll probably use kangaroo skin for that. More about that later. So I have four compounds. I've got the 3 paste and then the 1 diamond spray. So I need 4 strops. But each strop is, $18 if you just get the single piece of wood with a single piece of leather. That's a lot of money. So to kind of mitigate that a little bit and get exactly what I needed, I went with a double-sided strop, which has the suede and then the smooth. And this one's only a little bit more expensive. And what this allows me to do is on the rougher suede, I can put the 6 micron paste on there. It's already a stronger grit, so the fact that this is a suede kind of goes hand in hand. I think that's perfect. So I go 6 on this side. I got my little indicator, 6 micron on this side, just to make sure I don't screw the pooch in some way. And then I've got my 3 micron on this side, and you can tell it's loading quite a lot. You can't really see on this because of the suede darkness, but it's definitely loading. It takes off metal really, really well. This is also usually the one I use for my bronze washers. If I take a washer out and it looks like there's burring like on the edges, the inside edge or the outside edge, I'll try to take it off just on one of my strops. It often will smooth up the action a little bit, which is nice. And then after the 3 micron, I go to the 1 micron. And this is the one that actually has the best feedback in my opinion. The 1 micron, kind of a white paste, and it still shreds. I mean, look how much load this has. This still works really, really well at just refining the edge. I've noticed a staggering difference going from the 3 to the 1. The 1 is still doing some pretty major work. I didn't think it would be that much of a difference going from like 3 to 1, but 1 is still a boss. So I like the 1 micron. This is the one that has the most resistance. Like when you're actually moving the knife, you can tell the knife wants to just stick and hold a little bit. And so I'm not pushing down on it, but I am having a nice, smooth, steady pull, edge trailing, stroke obviously. Otherwise it'll cut into your leather easy, which I've done a couple times accidentally. I'm an idiot. Next, lastly, the diamond spray 0.5 micron. So it's got little diamondy particles in there, so you shake it up real good and then you spritz the strop. You don't want to use it right away after you spray it. You do want to let it dry for a spell, and then you're good to go. This one doesn't have near the feedback as the paste off, obviously, just because it's like just micro diamonds on there. The whole point is for everything else to evaporate. So this is for the really fine stuff. And you could see some loading a little bit. I think I've done phosphor bronze over here. I think that's why it's loaded up so much over there for the washers. I think I've used both of these. But this is kind of my finishing strop. And you want to be careful when you're stropping. I did this on my first time I sharpened the 940-1501, where, man, I really botched it. You can see I even, on this side, it's like a pretty flat angle. It's not too bad. It's like almost near, too, on that side. But this side, it's very convex, and I just wasn't holding my wrist like I should have been sharpening. And the similar thing can happen at the microscopic level, right on your apex, if you push too hard on the strop, because this is soft, right? So if you're digging into it, you think, I really want to finish this up, and you like push down like too much, the little fibers are running, and then they're smoothing your apex, if this is your apex. And so you're like rounding it off. And so your end ends up getting really rounded. So you can go overboard. Too many strops, you know, if I went more than 4, I don't use all 4 every single time. It depends on the kind of finish I'm trying to get. You know, if I'm going for like a toothy edge, I'm probably only going to use the 6 and the 3 at the most. But the other thing you got to do is just, you know, light strokes. You're just, the weight of the knife is all you're really doing. You want to try to hold the same exact edge that you had, or angle that you had for sharpening. Again, if you go too acute, you're just not touching the edge at all. And if you're going too obtuse, you're going to round the edge. So it's got to just be pretty much at the same. If you're going 15 degrees, try to stay 15 degrees on the strop as well. So that's it. That's my limited experience with these strops. I do like these strops quite a lot. I've got my friend Paris. Paris is a leather worker. He's just getting his stuff off the floor. He's been practicing for a long time. He's done some individual, you know, custom order type stuff. I've been talking to him, seeing if he can maybe hook us up with some good smooth leather. Maybe get our hands on some kangaroo leather. I'm really interested to see what the kangaroo leather does for this. I know Michael Christie was doing some of that work. So stay tuned for that. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Metal Effort. If you want to follow Paris, it's woven_different. Yeah, so that's it, guys. I just wanted you to see exactly what I'm doing with my strops. If you take good care of your knives, if you're not doing really hard work, the strops you use can really just maintain an edge for a very long time. Eventually, the steel on the edge will get fatigued, and you do just need to sharpen it so you can kind of get to the fresh steel underneath. But you can bide your time for quite a long time if you got some good strops and just kind of maintain the edge as you go. Again, making sure not to round the edges. So that's it. Not a lot of metal in this one, guys, but I hope it's still useful to you. See you in the next video. Bye.